Tonight, you don't need to earn peace. You don't need to solve the whole puzzle of your life before you're allowed to rest. If your mind has been busy, if your heart feels tender, if the day left a little dust on you, let this be the moment you stop scrubbing and start softening. There is a quieter way to end a day, not a perfect way, not a dramatic way, just a kinder way, the kind of way that says, I am still here and that is enough. The kind of way that allows sleep to feel like a gentle landing instead of a finish line you have to reach. Maybe the room is dim. Maybe the world outside is still awake. Maybe you can hear small sounds that remind you tomorrow is coming, and still you get to choose something simple. You get to lay down the weight you've been carrying in your thoughts. Let your attention rest on what is already holding you, the surface beneath you, the steadiness of the moment, the fact that right now you are not required to perform, you are allowed to be human in private. If your breath feels shallow, that's okay. If it feels uneven, that's okay too. You don't have to manage it like a task. You can simply notice that breathing is happening, and you are being kept alive by something that doesn't demand your permission. There is comfort in that. Life continues gently, even when you stop trying. Tonight, we're not going to argue with your thoughts. We're not going to wrestle your worries. We're going to give your inner world a softer place to sit. We're going to speak to the parts of you that feel tired and say, you can come home now. You may have been strong for other people. You may have been competent, careful, polite, productive, patient. You may have carried things that no one saw. Now you get to loosen your grip, not because you don't care, but because you do. Here is the first truth for the night. You are allowed to be done for today. There is a certain kind of pressure that tries to follow you into bed. It sounds like just one more thing. It sounds like I should have handled that better. It sounds like if I replay this enough times, maybe I can prevent tomorrow from hurting. But that pressure is not wisdom. It is fear wearing a busy mask. Completion is a feeling you can choose. You can close the day without pretending it was flawless. You can let it end without demanding that you feel satisfied, victorious, or certain. You can simply say, this day had a beginning, and now it has an ending. If you did one small thing today that mattered, it counts. If you got through something hard, it counts. If you stayed kind when you wanted to disappear, it counts. If you made a mistake and kept going, it counts. If you didn't do what you hoped and you still showed up in any way, it counts. Let the inner judge sit down. Let the inner taskmaster unclench. Let your worth step out of the work uniform it wore all day. You are more than your output. You are more than your mood. You are more than how well you performed in the eyes of others. Say it quietly inside. I honor my effort. I release the rest. Again, in a gentler tone. I honor my effort. I release the rest. Not as a magic spell, not as a command, but as a permission slip. You don't have to squeeze tomorrow out of tonight. You don't have to force closure through criticism. You can choose closure through kindness. Here is a small vow for this night. I stop arguing with the day that already happened. I let the past hour be finished. I let the past conversation be finished. I let the past version of me be finished. You can keep learning and still let tonight be simple. Growth does not require midnight punishment. Growth does not require you to relive every moment with a flashlight and a frown. Sometimes growth looks like resting, so you can be wiser in daylight. And now the second truth: unfinished things do not mean you failed. They mean you are human. There will always be something not completely done, a message not answered, a plan not finalized, a feeling not fully processed, a decision not fully clear. If you wait for life to be neatly wrapped before you allow yourself sleep, you will be waiting forever. Loose ends do not get to pull on your worth. Somewhere in you, there is a part that believes urgency equals safety. It thinks, if I hold on to this, I won't forget. If I hold on to this, I'll be prepared. If I hold on to this, I'll stay in control. But control can become a cage when it never lets you rest. Tonight, you can practice a different kind of strength, the strength of pausing. You can say, this can wait until daylight. You can say, I will return to this when I have more energy. You can say, I am allowed to set this down without abandoning it. I can pause my problems without losing myself. If that sentence feels unfamiliar, let it be new tonight, not a promise of how you will feel tomorrow, but a choice for this moment. What if your rest is not a reward, but a basic kindness you're allowed to receive? Not because you did everything right, not because you earned extra points, not because you were perfect, simply because you are a living person, and living requires restoration. Even the sun sets, even the ocean has tides, even the most faithful heart needs a place to land. If guilt shows up, notice it like a passing visitor. Guilt is often the mind's attempt to stay loyal to a standard that was never humane. You can thank it for trying to keep you responsible and still tell it, you don't get to run the night. Here is another gentle affirmation, sweet one. I release the need to prove my goodness through exhaustion. And now, the third truth. A lighter tomorrow often starts with a kinder inner voice tonight. Your mind may have learned to motivate you with sharpness. It may think harshness is the only way you'll improve. It may think being tough on yourself keeps you from failing, but you don't need harshness to grow. You don't need cruelty to become more whole. You can be honest and kind at the same time. If you would never speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself at 1 a.m., then you don't have to keep doing it to you. You can begin to practice a new language, a language that tells the truth without breaking your spirit. Here is a simple thought swap. When your mind says, I'm behind, you can answer, I'm in progress. When it says, I messed everything up, you can answer, I'm learning and I can repair what matters. When it says, I'm not enough, you can answer, I am a whole person even while I grow. Let your inner voice become a place you can rest. I speak to myself like someone worth loving. If that feels too big, make it smaller. I am willing to speak to myself more gently. And now, 2 lines you can carry like warm stones in your pocket. I release this day with tenderness. I welcome the night with peace. Once more, slower inside. I release this day with tenderness. I welcome the night with peace. Notice what happens when you stop demanding instant transformation and start offering steady kindness. You may still have thoughts, you may still feel things, but you will also feel something else, a little more space. This is your micro recap so far. You have chosen completion, you have loosened urgency, and you have softened your inner voice. 3 quiet doors into rest. Now we move into a deeper layer, the one many people crave but rarely practice: safety inside your own skin. So much of stress comes from feeling like you have to be on guard, like you have to anticipate every possible problem, like you have to brace for disappointment, like you have to keep a mental grip on the future so it won't surprise you. But tonight, you can practice a small, steady sense of inner safety. Safety can be a practice, not a perfect condition. This does not mean the world is always predictable. It means you can be a safe place for yourself, even when life is uncertain. It means you can stop treating your own body as an enemy territory. It means you can stop treating every feeling as a threat. There is a difference between being alert and being at war. In this moment, notice one thing that is okay. It might be tiny: the fact that you are sheltered, the fact that you are warm enough, the fact that you are breathing, the fact that your shoulders can drop even a little, the fact that you are not in the middle of the hardest moment right now. Let that okay be a small candle. In this moment, I am here, and here is enough. You don't have to scan the horizon tonight. You don't have to patrol your mind. You can let yourself be in the part of life that is quiet and safe enough to rest. Think of your thoughts like lanterns along a shoreline. Some lanterns are helpful, lighting a path. Some lanterns are just flickering fears. You don't have to chase each one into the water. You can stand on the sand and let the lights be lights without making them emergencies. A thought is not a command. A thought is not a prophecy. A thought is a visitor. If a worry arrives, you can say, "I see you." And then you can say, "Not tonight." You can set it on a shelf. You can let it wait. You're allowed to delay the meeting with your worries. Here is a short vow, if you want it. Tonight, I choose gentleness over vigilance. Tonight, I choose rest over rehearsal. Now let's bring in one of the softest forms of lightness: forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It is not pretending something didn't hurt. It is not approving what was wrong. It is not forcing yourself to feel warm towards someone who harmed you. It can be far smaller and far more personal than that. Forgiveness tonight can be as small as loosening the knot, not rewriting the whole story. You can lay down the weight without approving what hurt you. Sometimes the person you need to forgive first is yourself. The version of you who didn't know what you know now. The version of you who was tired, scared, eager, lonely, or doing their best with limited tools. The version of you who made a choice that didn't turn out well. You don't have to punish that version of you forever. You can correct course without cruelty. You can learn without lashings. Here is a gentle sentence to offer yourself. I loosen my grip and I keep my dignity. If someone else is on your mind tonight, you can practice a simple release. I return what is not mine to carry. Their choices, their moods, their reactions, their misunderstandings, their limitations, you can let them belong to them. That does not erase boundaries. That does not erase accountability. It simply takes your hands off what you cannot control. You might also forgive life for being imperfect. You might forgive a season that was heavy. You might forgive a day that asked too much. Forgiveness is not a performance. It is a quiet exhale of the soul. Another micro recap. You have given yourself permission to be done. You have placed unfinished things into tomorrow's care. You have softened your inner voice. You have practiced inner safety, and you have loosened one knot of weight. That is real work, even if it looks like stillness. Now we plant a seed for morning, not a demand for morning, a seed. Waking in joy does not have to mean waking in excitement. It can mean waking with less dread. It can mean waking with a little more willingness. It can mean waking and noticing one gentle thing, a window of light, a sip of water, a moment of quiet before the world starts asking. Joy can be gentle and still be real. Tonight, you can shift the story from tomorrow is a test to tomorrow is a fresh page. Not a page you have to fill perfectly, a page you get to meet with more tenderness. You're allowed to begin again without dragging tonight's heaviness into your first breath of morning. Here are a few affirmations to lay beside you like a soft blanket. I am safe to rest. I am learning to trust my life one day at a time. I welcome a lighter morning. I choose thoughts that feel like kindness. I am held by the simple fact of being alive. You do not have to force these sentences to feel true. You can let them be invitations. You can let them be small doors you might walk through slowly when you're ready. If your mind tries to bargain, if it says, but what about that one thing? You can answer with compassion. Yes, that matters, and it can wait until I have the strength to meet it well. Strength loves rest. Wisdom loves rest. Love loves rest. My dear, you are not falling behind because you are sleeping. You are not failing because you are pausing. You are not weak because you feel tender. Tenderness is proof you are alive. You may notice that peace is not the absence of thought, but the absence of fighting yourself. Peace is the moment you stop gripping the night like a problem. Peace is when you let yourself be held by the simple, quiet truth you are allowed to be here. If you wake in the night, you can return to one sentence like returning home. I am here, and here is enough. You can let it be your gentle anchor. No pressure, no drama, just a steady hand. And when morning arrives, whenever it arrives, you can greet it softly. You can say, hello, life. You can say, I'm willing. You can say, let today be lighter than yesterday, even by one small ounce. Because lightness is made of small choices, a kinder thought, a slower pace, a softer expectation, a willingness to be imperfect without being unworthy. Tonight, you end as a person, not a project. You end as someone deserving peace, not someone needing to prove they deserve it. Let the day be complete. Let the unfinished be held by tomorrow. Let your heart be spoken to gently. Let your inner world be a safe home. Before you drift further into quiet, let's make room for something that often keeps people awake. The feeling that you shouldn't feel what you feel. Sometimes the hardest part of night is not the worry itself, but the judgment layered on top of it. You feel sad, and then you judge the sadness. You feel anxious, and then you criticize yourself for being anxious. You feel lonely, and then you tell yourself you should be over it by now. That second layer is what turns a feeling into a storm. So tonight, we practice a softer rule. Feelings are allowed to exist without needing to justify themselves. You can say, I'm noticing heaviness. You can say, I'm noticing restlessness. You can say, I'm noticing a tender ache. And you don't have to chase a reason. You don't have to build a courtroom in your mind and put yourself on trial. You can let a feeling be a feeling and let your body be a body. Here is a truth line you can keep. What you allow often softens. When you stop fighting your inner experience, you stop adding fuel. You become a quiet witness instead of a frantic fixer. And the witness is wise. The witness knows that everything changes. The witness knows that a wave rises and a wave falls. Even the most persistent thought eventually passes if you stop feeding it. If your mind says, but if I don't fight this, it will swallow me, you can answer, I am bigger than this moment. Not in a dramatic way, in a simple way, like the sky is bigger than weather. I am bigger than this moment. And here is a gentle question, not to demand an answer, only to open a window. What would it feel like to stop proving your strength tonight and simply receive support? Support can be quiet. Support can be the way your bed holds you. Support can be the way the night gives you privacy. Support can be the way your own hand, resting anywhere, reminds you that you are not alone with yourself. Sometimes peace begins with a small apology to your own heart, not because you did something wrong, but because you've been hard on yourself without realizing it. You can whisper inside, I'm sorry I've been speaking to you like you're a problem. I'm learning to speak to you like you're precious. I am precious, even in my imperfect nights. Now, let's talk about the stories we tell at bedtime. The mind loves to build conclusions from tiredness. It loves to say, because I feel this tonight, it will always be like this. It loves to turn a rough day into a rough identity. But you are not your most exhausted thought. You are not your worst-case scenario. You are not the voice that criticizes you. You are the listener. You are the one who can choose a different sentence. Try this simple inner shift. When your mind starts forecasting, you can say, that is one possibility. And then you can add, and there are her possibilities too. This is not pretending everything will be perfect. It is refusing to let fear declare itself the only storyteller. You don't have to guarantee a better moment. You only have to make room for one. I make room for better moments. If you want a small image to hold tonight, let it be this. Your day is a coat you can hang by the door. You don't have to wear it into sleep. The coat may have pockets full of worries, receipts, and tiny sharp things. You can empty the pockets later. For now, you can hang the coat and let your skin breathe. You are not responsible for carrying every burden into the dark. And now, let's invite in gratitude, but not the kind that shames you, not the kind that says you must feel cheerful or positive, the kind that simply notices what is steady. Gratitude can be as small as noticing that you made it through the day. Gratitude can be as small as noticing one person who tried, even if imperfectly. Gratitude can be as small as noticing that you still have a heart that cares. You can say, "Thank you for this moment of quiet." And if you can't, that's okay too. Even neutrality is a form of rest. Here is a short vow. I will not use gratitude as a weapon against my feelings. I will use it as a soft light beside them. Now I want to offer a brief story, the kind that doesn't demand you compare your life, only the kind that reminds you what is possible. There was a woman named Mira who used to dread bedtime. She would finish her day and feel her chest tighten, like night was a room full of unfinished conversations. She tried to think her way into peace, and it only made her more tired. One evening, she did something different. She stopped asking, "How do I fix myself?" and asked, "How do I be kind to myself right now?" She wrote one sentence on a small piece of paper and left it by her bed. "I can return to this in the morning." Not 100 sentences, not a plan. Just that. When worries arrived, she didn't try to erase them. She simply touched the paper and reminded herself, "Morning has hands for this." Over time, her nights didn't become perfect, but they became friendlier. She began to trust that she didn't have to solve everything in the dark to be a responsible person. The point of Mira's story is not that you should copy her, but that kindness can be practical. It can be one sentence, it can be one choice, it can be a small agreement with yourself. I will meet my life when I'm rested enough to meet it well. I meet my life with steadiness, not panic. Now, if you've been carrying someone else's emotions, let's lay them down gently. Sometimes you go to bed still holding another person's tone, their disappointment, their silence, their expectations. It's like you borrowed their weather and forgot to return it. You can return it now. Not with anger, not with blame, with dignity. You can say, "This belongs to you." And you can say, "I belong to me. I belong to me." If you've been replaying a conversation, try this small mercy. Let the conversation be human. Let there have been awkwardness. Let there have been imperfect words. Let there have been misunderstanding. Most people are doing their best with limited clarity. You don't have to polish the past into perfection to deserve sleep. Another truth line: you do not need to be flawless to be loved. You are lovable while learning. You are lovable while uncertain. You are lovable while tired. Now you might be thinking, "Yes, but what about the real problems?" And my love, yes, some problems are real, some situations require action, some decisions matter. This is not denial. This is pacing. This is respecting your limits. Night is not the best meeting room for every issue. When you are tired, everything feels louder. When you are tired, every worry feels more urgent. When you are tired, your mind is more likely to speak in absolutes. So tonight, we practice a simple boundary. I will not make big conclusions in a small, tired moment. I will not make big conclusions tonight. If you feel the urge to plan, let the plan be small. Let it be one next step for tomorrow, and then let it go. Your mind likes to hoard steps. You can offer it one, and then close the drawer. Here is a 2-line chorus you can return to whenever you need it. I am safe to let today end. I am willing to let tomorrow begin fresh. Again, I am safe to let today end. I am willing to let tomorrow begin fresh. Notice how willing feels softer than I must. Willing gives you room to be human. Willing leaves space for grace. Now let's speak directly to the part of you that fears the morning. Maybe the morning feels like a demand. Maybe it feels like a list. Maybe it feels like expectations and performance and people needing you. But morning can also be a doorway. It can be a chance to begin with one kinder thought. It can be a chance to move one thing forward. It can be a chance to choose your pace for the first few moments, even if the day later becomes busy. You can wake in joy without waking in perfection. Joy can be a small yes, I can handle one step. And if tomorrow is heavy, you can still bring lightness to one corner of it. You can bring lightness to the way you speak to yourself. You can bring lightness to the way you pause before responding. You can bring lightness to the way you allow yourself a sip of calm. Lightness is not a denial of responsibility. It is a refusal to suffer extra. Now return to your worth, because it is the deepest pillow you have. Your worth does not rise and fall with your productivity. Your worth does not rise and fall with other people's approval. Your worth does not rise and fall with how quickly you move on. Your worth is steady because you are alive. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of a peaceful night. I am worthy of a gentle morning. Let these sentences be true enough for tonight. If you've been bracing inside, you can unclench a little. The future doesn't need your fear to be handled well. And now, a micro recap to re-anchor you. You have allowed your feelings without judgment. You have loosened frightening stories. You have practiced small gratitude without forcing cheer. You have returned what isn't yours to carry, and you have set a boundary against midnight conclusions. Now let's make one more gentle turn toward sleep, not as a place you have to arrive, but as a place that arrives in you when you stop chasing it. Some nights, sleep comes quickly. Some nights, it comes in pieces. Either way, you can be kind to yourself in the meantime. You can keep your inner voice soft. You can keep your expectations gentle. You can keep your heart from turning on itself. If sleep is slow, let your kindness be steady. If your mind wanders, let it wander without punishment. If you feel frustrated, let the frustration be met with compassion. This is not a test. This is life being life. And as you continue into the night, you can let a final set of affirmations settle like soft snow, clean and quiet. I release the day. I trust the timing of my life. I am learning to feel safe. I allow peace to touch me. I wake with a lighter heart. My dear, you have done enough for one day. You belong here, and when morning comes, you can meet it with the gentleness you practiced tonight. You can meet it with a softer mouth, a softer brow, a softer story. You can bring forward the best part of this night, the permission. Sleep in peace, wake in joy, and let that joy be honest, tender, and real.